picked up on. Well, we didn't get the whole idea because we make them out of steel and they're noisy and heavy. And then we cover them, we put glass in them. They put paper. And it means your phone does that too.
That's not mine.
We're all buzzing.
We are starving for culture, and we look to fill that, and we end up filling it with entertainment. Entertainment's become our new culture. You know, that's our tradition, is to be entertained. That's what we hold valuable, but we really shouldn't, because it leaves us pretty much empty. Yeah, I think culture. People are looking for culture and they find entertainment, and I think if they would stop and realize what they're substituting, they may realize what they're missing in the lack of having culture. Culture is entertainment as sex is to love me.
Tell you something, golden boy, I am the strongest man in the world. Anything that Goose can do, I can do better. I'm going to show you right now.
Oh, that's our culture. Our culture is based on an entertainment concept at the moment.
When you talk about the culture, what do you mean specifically? Like, what do you...
Well, you mean the whole concept of art, music, dance, in other words, the expressions of man, and then the philosophical concepts and the religious concepts.
It's like music. There used to be rock, and there used to be R&B and rap and country, but those forms of music, you can still see their semblances in today's music, but they kind of mesh and do other things, and you can't really identify this, and they start coming together, and they form their own genres, and now the topography of music today is so muddy and yeah, you can't really define it anymore. It's just a blob of stuff. But you know, if you kind of squint your eyes, you can kind of see where they came from. But that's never important to Americans. It's, you know, it's where they're going.
I don't want to lose it completely, and I don't know. I don't want to totally abandon where like my parents came from. I guess I'm starting to think about like if I have kids and what I want them to be exposed to, and in America it's so like singular in terms of the culture and the language.
Even if you go home at the end of the day and your parents steep you in where they grew up and what they did, how they washed their laundry, you know, like beat them on the rocks or whatnot, that's only maybe 7% of your waking life. The rest of it is spent out in the real world, or the American world, learning to be American.
It's not shown often. Like, there are several people who are Asian American who have maybe say parents like of Asian descent and are trying to balance, you know, different aspects of their identity that aren't being addressed adequately by their schools or the TV that they watch or the music that they watch. They don't know who they are, you know?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't sampled any of what that sort of culture is. I can't pretend to be informed enough or cool enough to know what that's like and to have a valid opinion on any of it. I mean, this whole interview thing what is culture? How do you define it? I don't think anybody's qualified to say. Is it the habits? Is it the traditions, the foods, the way people dress? Nobody really knows. So who am I to say if I want culture or not? Because I don't even know what culture is. I'm probably very uncultured, you know, crazy high school bum. But what you gonna do? I mean, go with what works for you.
It's kind of hard because when I've been reading this book called Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting, and it's really interesting the way that the author Vijay Prashad presents the definition of culture. He doesn't use the word culture, he uses the word polyculturalism. And polyculturalism is taken from the word polyrhythmic, meaning different rhythms contributing to like one song. Right? Versus different drummers playing their own, separate culture. So he feels that culture is not, this distinct thing that you can divide lines against, like, Asian culture, Filipino culture, like whatever, African American culture, you can go on and on. But that culture in itself, like, is not just something that, it's not something with, like, divided boundaries. It's something that's, like, continually recreated and something that's dynamic. And so, say, like, even when you're saying, I think in one of your questions I answered you, like, I grew up in a Filipino American community, there's almost no lines, like, within that, because I'm dealing with a bunch of different elements, like, in my life, or I felt I was, because I had, like, my parents' background in the Philippines, which was influenced by Spanish colonialism as well as American colonialism. To be here in America, and I grew up with, like, we grew up listening to hip-hop, alternative music, so it's like this entire blend of different elements. And so it's hard for me to tell you that, culture is this one thing, stuff, one little box, because it's not.